Here's the uncomfortable truth about social media algorithms. They've not just got you hooked to your phones like zombies, they've quietly reprogrammed how you feel, think, and even behave. If you're a millennial who grew up without internet, you might as well have felt the shift. But if you're a Gen Z who grew up with smartphones, chronic doom scrolling, and now generative AI, this might be a little unsettling. Hi, I'm Rahul Mandal, aka Mandal Bhari. I'm a marketing and advertising strategist, and on this channel, I give you a strategist's perspective on how people, culture, technology, and marketing shape one another. You see, in the pre internet era, life moved at a slower, more deliberate pace. TV shows aired at a fixed time and you had to just wait for them. Radio stations played songs at random, so you listened to a variety of songs in the meantime. If you loved an artist, you bought their cassette and even memorized the lyrics. All knowledge and stories lived in books, so you'd have to visit a library and read in silence. And watching movies, were a trip to the theater or renting a CD to watch at home with family and friends. Here's what all of these things led to. First, your day was structured by default. Limited access meant you could actually disconnect from work, screen time, and be bored, which kept your brain healthy. Art was consumed intentionally. You bought records, memorized lyrics, learned an instrument, and connected with art deeply. Be it music, films, or acting, you cared about the craft and built your own taste. Knowledge sharpened your brain. Walking to a library, finding the right book, and reading through its pages was like cardio for the mind. Without Google or Chat GPT, you had to think for yourself, analyze ideas, and stay in control of your thoughts. And finally, most important, you spent more time with people than with machines. More time talking to family, even through tough conversations and uncomfortable moments. You stepped out to meet your friends, took in some fresh air, soaked up some sunlight, and simply had a good time being grounded to the moment, to reality. Then came the internet. It was exciting at first, liberating, and full of possibilities. Emails and instant messengers could connect people across borders. Search engines gave you access to endless information and knowledge. New forms of entertainment like online games and forums came up. Just while all of this world was opening up, social media entered the picture. Social media began with early platforms like MySpace and Orkut, which were spaces to connect with old friends, make new ones, or simply stay in touch. Cut to 2025, with apps like Instagram and TikTok, it's no longer just about like a digital hangout, but it's like a virtual stage for performers of every kind. Thanks to TikTok for starting the whole democratized content era and running the show, the infamous algorithms. What started as a way to connect with friends eventually turned into a game of external validation and performative competition. And over time, this shift quietly reprogrammed the way our brains work. Here's how the algorithm reprogrammed us. First, it broke our ability to focus. Unlimited access created unlimited overwhelm. When everything became available at our fingertips, it was supposed to make life easier, but it led to information overload. Endless content scrolling led to cognitive fatigue, decision paralysis, and even some kind of digital ADHD. More content on our feeds did not make us smart. It broke our ability to slow down, focus, and feel fully satisfied. The result? Our so called attention span got reduced to that of a goldfish. Second, it traded art and expression for attention. Now, making a good sketch, composing a catchy song, or writing a great story isn't enough anymore. You need to catch and hold someone's attention for at least 3 seconds before they scroll away. Let me share something personal. I'm a singer songwriter as well, and to make my music reach people organically or to make them even care, I have to think of at least 10 different ways to package it for reels and YouTube shorts. It forces me to do things that don't always feel like me. And I know I'm not the only one. So many artists today struggle with this quiet identity dissonance. Most artists today have to be performative content creators, and most of them hate it. And that's not even the worst part. Now, even songs are being composed and arranged to be social media optimized. What happened to art? Third, it's reinforcing your existing belief system. Social media algorithms are built to keep you scrolling. The longer you stay, the more ads they can show you and the more money they make from advertisers. So, how do they keep you hooked? By studying you, your clicks, your interests, your watch time, and feeding you more of what you already engage with. Love fashion? More get ready with me reels. Identify as an atheist? More content echoing your views. Hate vegans? Expect endless anti vegan jokes. Believe in conspiracy theories? Most people in your feed have one to share. What happens then is you go down that endless rabbit hole of confirmation bias and see every post on your feed as a validation. And here's the most unsettling part. It's gratifying repetition, which is killing originality. Social media has been notoriously known for people showing the perfect side of their lives, right? Then came a wave of people who wanted to be authentic. They shared their failures, their low moments, and vulnerability. Initially, that honesty made them stand out. But soon, even vulnerability became a performance, like another strategy or formula for likes, engagement, and followers. Whatever worked became a trend, and everyone jumped on that bandwagon until a new one came along. Not just people, even brands have started losing their personality by chasing these trends. Just last week, I saw multiple brands participating in this weird trend of official apology for being so good. The FOMO was evident. Looking at these shifts, the strategist in me came up with somewhat of a theory. You see, in the pre internet era, a sense of belonging and individuality could coexist. People formed communities and groups in person based on shared beliefs or passions, yet you had the space to be unique, have your own voice, style, and expression. That's how our parents' generation were more closely knit with their community than we are. But in the digital first world, the equation flipped. Algorithms replaced real human presence, and visibility became the new currency. And to be visible on social media, you had to create more than you might have to offer. So, to fill up that gap, you follow trends, repeat formats, use the same sounds, and copy the same styles. The algorithm rewarded sameness. And in trying to belong, we all compromised on individuality. So, how can you undo this unhelpful programming? First, connect mindfully. Be intentional about who and what you engage with online. Follow people who add perspective, challenge your belief system, or educate you. Curate your feeds mindfully and reduce content that makes you insecure. Second, disconnect consciously. Put down your phone more often. Disable notifications, set time limits for social media apps, sit with boredom. Give your brain some rest. Third, reflect and reserve. Before reacting, posting, or sharing something, pause. Ask yourself why you're doing it. Are you adding value or are you being nosy? Are you reacting to being rage baited, triggered, or offended, or are you engaging in a healthy, meaningful debate? Take control of your emotions. Don't let them control you. Fourth, separate actions from identity. Remember, your likes, views, or follows don't define your worth. What you do online is just a part of you, not who you are. If content creation is still, let's say, a way of monetization for you, treat it like a job where you say, gotta do what you gotta do. A post that did not go viral doesn't make you a failure. And last, get out more. Yes, IRL. Go meet people, old and new. Pick up offline hobbies. Go play pickleball, don't care about the haters. The more time you spend in the real world, the less validation you'll seek from the digital one. Remember, mindful awareness is all it takes to reprogram your mind and take back control of your life, both digitally and in real life. And if you're struggling with being mindful and authentic, I highly recommend watching this next video on screen for some inspiration. See you in the next one.